when Princess Diana stepped out of the Lindo wing on June 22, 1982. Holding the newborn Prince William, the world saw a fairy tale moment. Here was the Princess of Wales, beautiful and beaming, presenting the future King of England to an adoring public. The photographs from that day became iconic, symbols of royal continuity and joy. But behind that carefully constructed image was a reality far more complicated and painful. Diana later revealed that the birth of her first son, a moment celebrated globally, was for her a period of intense personal struggle, a secret she carried for years. The pressure began long before she even went into labor. In tapes she secretly recorded for biographer Andrew Morton, Diana spoke of the unbearable weight of expectation. The entire world, it seemed, was waiting for her to produce an heir. The media scrutiny was relentless, with reporters and photographers camped outside, monitoring her every move. She felt like a public spectacle, not a mother-to-be. This immense pressure led to a decision that many found shocking. Her labor was induced, but it wasn't for a compelling medical reason. Diana revealed that the induction was scheduled to fit around her then-husband Prince Charles's polo schedule. "We had to find a date in the diary that suited him and his polo," she recalled. This small detail spoke volumes about her experience within the royal machine, where even the birth of a future king could be arranged for convenience. The labor itself was grueling. It lasted 16 hours, and Diana described it as a physically and emotionally brutal ordeal. She said she felt sick as a parrot the whole way through, a harrowing experience for any new mother, let alone one under the world's microscope. At one point, her body temperature spiked, and there was a brief discussion about an emergency cesarean section. Thankfully, she was able to deliver William naturally with the help of an epidural, but the trauma of the experience lingered. The relief she should have felt was overshadowed by exhaustion and a sense of being completely overwhelmed. The challenges didn't end in the delivery room. Just 6 weeks later, on August 4th, Prince William's christening was held. For Diana, this event, meant to be a joyous occasion, was anything but. She described the day as ghastly. Still recovering from the difficult birth and grappling with her new role, she felt emotionally fragile and completely sidelined. The date, time, and guest list were all decided without her input. She was expected to simply show up and play her part. Looking back at the official photographs from that day, you can see a hint of the sadness in her eyes. Diana later admitted she was crying as those pictures were being taken, holding baby William while feeling utterly isolated and miserable. This profound sadness wasn't just temporary baby blues. Diana was suffering from postpartum depression, a condition that was poorly understood and rarely discussed at the time, especially within the rigid confines of the royal family. She spoke of feeling a deep sense of isolation, of being an outsider in her own life. The immense pressure to be the perfect princess, the perfect wife, and now the perfect mother, was crushing. She felt that her own well-being was secondary to the demands of royal duty and the polished public image that had to be maintained at all costs. There was no room for her to be vulnerable, to admit she was struggling. She was expected to be a symbol, not a person with real human emotions. Diana's experience highlights a stark contrast that defined much of her life, the gap between the public fairy tale and the private reality. The world saw the smiling princess on the hospital steps, holding her beautiful baby. They saw the flawless christening portraits and the adoring crowds. What they didn't see was the young woman who felt her body and her life were not her own. They didn't see the new mother battling a debilitating mental health condition in silence, with little support or understanding. Her story was a powerful and ultimately tragic example of the human cost of upholding a flawless royal facade. The pressure she faced was unique. She wasn't just any new mother. She was the mother of a future monarch. Every decision, every public appearance was freighted with the weight of history and tradition. But in fulfilling her duty to the crown, her own humanity was often overlooked. The system demanded a perfect princess, and it had little patience for the messy, complicated reality of postpartum depression or emotional distress. Diana's own words paint a picture of a woman fighting to be seen and heard within an institution that prized tradition and image above all else. In the years that followed, Diana used her platform to speak about her struggles, breaking taboos, and giving a voice to issues like mental health and eating disorders. Her honesty was revolutionary. By sharing her own story of postpartum depression, she opened up a conversation that was long overdue. She showed the world that even a princess could feel overwhelmed, isolated, and depressed. Her vulnerability became her strength, connecting her with millions of people around the world who saw their own struggles reflected in hers. So when we look back at those iconic images from 1982, it's important to remember the full story. We should celebrate the birth of a future king, but we must also acknowledge the hidden sacrifice of the woman who brought him into the world. Princess Diana's experience was a powerful reminder that behind the pomp and pageantry of royal life are real human beings with real emotions and struggles. Her legacy is not just in the son she raised, but in the courage she showed by telling her own truth, forcing us to look beyond the fairy tale and see the complex, often painful reality that lay beneath. It's a story of strength, survival, and the enduring tension between public duty and private humanity. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as compelling as we do, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into history. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.